Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm going to talk about Charlie Kirk. If you happen to see a little dog wandering around in the background, that's Carly, uh, my new roommate. I'm stuck with her for right now. She's a rescue dog. More on that story later. But I'm here to talk about Charlie Kirk. Um, Charlie Kirk, I wasn't some great friend of his or follower. I knew of him because I was following Turning Point USA and I think also his personal account on Instagram. And on September 10th, when all of this happened, I was getting ready to go to work. And I was listening to the Broken Crown podcast. And I remember hearing Aiden mention that, we think Charlie Kirk got shot. And funny thing is, there's a talk show host by the name of Charlie James that I listen to. He's a local talk show host. And I found myself thinking, wait a minute, Charlie Kirk? No way, no way. And so I'm literally turning on my radio, like listening to Charlie James. And I'm like, okay, he doesn't sound very dead to me, or shot to me. And then Charlie James start mentioning Charlie Kirk, and he was saying, I think that there's no way he could have survived that shot. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. By the time I got to work, it had been pretty much confirmed that Charlie was dead. And people were saying that that he had been shot in the neck and everything else. And I'm kind of stressed at that point because I'm like, this is not what I wanted to hear. Because I knew Charlie was a good man. And it really hurt. The rest of that day was just surreal. Kept thinking he'd somehow survive it and we'd find out by the next day, September 11th, which would be ironic, that he was still alive, in critical condition, blah, 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 blah. But, no, that was not the case. I have seen the video of him being shot. It's not a pretty thing. I won't recommend anybody go look it up either. Charlie, I don't think he was going to quote-unquote change America. But he was changing the discourse. The discourse was getting more and more towards violent response to anybody saying something you don't like. And Charlie was trying to change that back to, can we just talk? Can we just debate like we used to? And I think he was in a lot of ways successful. It just feels really bad that what he was trying to accomplish, he did, but at the exact same time, somebody decided they hated him so much that they had to kill him. Now, it just seems really sad. It really does. So I've been watching what's been happening since then. And at first, I was angry like everybody else. I was like, find the killer, string him up, all that stuff. I watched the memorial service. I watched Erica Kirk speak. And I was really impressed by it all. Now, some people are like, well, why did she forgive her husband's killer? Because spending all that time angry and hateful don't help you. And if anything, Tyler Robinson would have loved the thought, oh, she's so angry and so miserable and she hates me. Nope, just forgive him. She doesn't forget what he's done. She will not ever forget what Tyler Robinson would have done. And will she probably kind of hate him? Yeah, but you can still forgive him and move on with your life. She kind of has to. She's got kids, man. Watching the first 3 weeks after Charlie's death, all these young men going back to church attendance skyrocketing across the country, so many people supporting Charlie. I didn't think Charlie had that big of a following. I really did not. But oh my goodness, the reaction from so many people. It was beautiful to see. It really was. It really, really was beautiful to see. Now, for black folks, I didn't see a lot of black folks reacting to it. I was one of the few black folks that reacted to this, other than Brandon Tatum, and more on that in a moment. But I remember at work, people were saying, "Oh well, I didn't know much about Charlie Kirk," and some people kind of disagreed with him because they thought he was a racist. Of course, the media did their best to make Charlie Kirk's assassination seem as if, well, it was terrible that he was assassinated, but, he was a racist and a bigot and a Trump supporter. And he was a homophobe and he didn't like trans people. So it's okay. It's still not right, but, hint, hint. That's the media for you. They can't stop themselves. I kind of feel like I can get a cigar. Just talking about this gets me a little emotional, I will admit. So pardon my smoke. What I've been watching now over the past 3 weeks has disheartened me somewhat. I didn't know that Candace Owens knew Charlie Kirk. I don't think Charlie Kirk ever mentioned her. I knew Charlie knew Trump. I knew he knew Elon Musk, somewhat. But the last 3 weeks, it's like all these, I'll just say it, these groypers, these people who I have never heard associated with Charlie Kirk, coming out of the woodwork, talking about, oh, Charlie was my friend, Charlie this, Charlie that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and speak on Candace Owens. One thing you notice that her behind was not there at the memorial service. At least I don't remember seeing her. And then she comes out with this, well, he was murdered because of something between him and Israel. Now that's been debunked. Thank God. But at first I was almost defensive of Candace Owens. Until as things went on and on and on further, I realized that she may have known Charlie. She may have even cared. But this is a political opportunity for her. Why else would she spread this malarkey about Charlie and Israel? There's nothing to be gained from that other than notoriety for her. Yeah, she's groiping off of Charlie's death. She is. And it disgusts me. Me and her may have a lot of agreements on different things, but she's disgusting as a person. Okay, why are you going to grope off that man's death? Just, stick to making Ben Shapiro angry and shut the hell up, woman. Just utterly seriously. Now, Brandon Tatum has come out, and I like B. Tatum. I'm actually subscribed to him. I'm following him on YouTube. But even I feel that he's kind of trying to run this, not necessarily into the ground, but just keep running with it as long as he can. Whenever it gets brought up, or he finds out some new news or something, he's bringing it up. And he reminds everybody he's Charlie's friend, and he's going to look out for Charlie's wife and kids and all that. And I'm like, how are you going to do that, bro? You got your own wife and kids to take care of. But, we'll see. We'll see on that one. If you notice me looking down on occasion, it's because I have the dog, and sometimes she's got a bit of incontinence, so sometimes she suddenly has to go. But Candace Owens just disgusts me now. I never was really against her, but excuse me. Just this really disgusted me with her. And all these people coming out of the woodwork. Oh, I knew Charlie this, Charlie that. I'm like, I ain't never heard of you people. I ain't never seen no pictures of you with Charlie. What the hell? Who are these people? But there are always dark people in the conservative movement. And they will grift and groip all they want. I just hope TPSA keeps growing and keeps going. And they can ignore Candace and, yes, some of these other people, including Brandon Tatum, and keep moving. Because it's just, if you weren't part of Charlie's inner circle, you really need to shut up. I'm just going to say that. If you just hung out with Charlie a couple of times, that don't make you his best friend. It may have made you a friend, because Charlie, you know, if you were friendly with him, he was friendly with you. He was one of those type of people. He was a good man. And I have to admit, the first 2 weeks after shooting, you had some of these leftists going, running around going, oh yeah, we got him, we got him, we got him. Then they got fired. Then they got fired. I was laughing my butt off about it. Like, that's what you get. That's what you get. You ain't gonna besmirch one of God's own and keep getting away with it. Now, then there were the conservatives like, oh, we shouldn't be canceling people over Charlie Kirk. I don't think Charlie Kirk would have wanted that. This ain't about Charlie. Not totally. It's about the fact that these people have no respect for the innocent death of a good man. Okay? They just don't. There has to be consequences for actions. You still got your freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach and not freedom from consequences. If the left loves to remind us, oh, well, you've got freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences, well, guess what, lefties? The same thing goes for you. You don't have freedom from consequences. You besmirch a good man, and he comes after you, or his family does, well, you still got your freedom of speech. You're just going to lose your job and get your butt kicked. Oh, boo-hoo. Boo freaking hoo. Now, there were those on the left who were up front. They were like, look, y'all shut up. No besmirching this man. We may have not agreed with him, but no, we do not go down this path of darkness, where we are celebrating the death of a man who may have been killed. If I remember, some people saying he was shot in front of his wife and kids. That's just craziness. It's sanity. Now, as far as Tyler Robinson goes and the controversy surrounding him, Tyler Robinson is confirmed to be the murderer, the assassin. Oh boy. Let me just go ahead and put this out right now. No, this boy was not led by Israel to do anything. That was some of the stupidest shit that I heard more than a week afterwards. Oh, Tyler Robinson was a Mossad agent. Tyler Robinson was this. And what made it so bad is that the left was griping off of this. Oh, Charlie. Tyler Robinson, he was a conservative. He was ultra MAGA. Where did you guys get that from? Oh, well, his parents were MAGA. No, his parents just voted for Trump. That doesn't make them ultra conservative or ultra MAGA. Well, his parents were this way. Why wouldn't... Hey, look, man, I know plenty of kids whose parents are conservative and they're liberal. It's just the way it is. Okay? My parents are Democrats. Okay? They're not Republicans. They're not liberals either. They're definitely not liberals. But they would vote Democrat every chance they get if they could. But I'm the conservative Republican in the family. And I get along with my family. I love them. But, you know, they disagree with me. Oh, Trump's bad, Trump's bad. I'm like, okay, fine. You know, y'all believe that. That's fine. I'm going to believe that Trump's good. Okay, that's how I'm going to do that. And that's the best I can do. But yeah, you can be conservative and your kids and your relatives can be liberals. And you do the best you can no matter what. Okay? So now, people have been talking about, well, why don't we know more about Tyler Robinson? Look, within the first 2 weeks of Charlie being killed, we found out everything about this boy. And he's a furry, he's gay, he's into trans people, he's skirting the line of being non-binary trans himself. His boyfriend is trans women. And apparently they were discussing doing this thing and trying to figure out a way to make it sound as if, well, Tyler did it, but his boyfriend didn't know or whatever. Supposedly the boyfriend is cooperating with the FBI and the police. And apparently Tyler was turned in by his own family. His own family. his father suspected that he was the one who did it, took him to see a local preacher and talked with the preacher, and he admitted it to the preacher, and the preacher was like, whoa, okay. And so the preacher talks to the father, and the father says, well, I don't have any other choice. You know, he's committed murder. And so the preacher and Tyler Robinson's father turned him in. I personally think Tyler Robinson wanted to be turned in, not because of any guilt or anything, but whatever sociopathy he had in his mind, in his heart, turned him to that direction. I think in some ways he wanted to turn himself in, maybe to protect the boyfriend, but most of all to gain the notoriety and fame. Sad, sick, twisted world we have here nowadays, folks. Really, truly. Now, what's also interesting is that a few days ago, I was listening to, of course, Charlie James on the radio. And Charlie James was saying, you know, a lot of people have been asking, why haven't we heard more about Tyler Robinson and Thomas Crook? You know, the guy who nearly shot Trump's ear off. Well, Crooks is dead. He's dead. I mean, what more can you hear about a dead man? Okay, but Charlie James was saying this. There is a connection between the two men. Two men. They're both in their 20s. They grown. Two men. Both of them were skirting around the edges of non-binary LGBTQ plus stuff. Both of them were interested in political violence. And most of all, both of them were into furry stuff. Yeah. Furries. You know that meme that comes out of all around the furries, you better scurry? Yeah, it's starting to look like that. You know, if you didn't hate furries enough, you will now. I mean, now, how much of this is true? I don't know. This was a study that Charlie James was reading, and the study showed that researching both of these young men showed that they started out in their teen years as somewhat conservative. And as they went into college age, they suddenly shifted violently over to the left. Became more involved in watching porn, looking up furry stuff, transgenderism, non-binaryism, and of course, extreme leftism. I don't want to say it, but it appears that also if we're looking at some of these other young mass shooters who are white males, there seems to be a pattern, especially a couple of these school shootings we've had over the last year and a half. White, male, and or female, trans, gay, into weird kinky stuff on the internet. Consistently lonely. And I'm not trying to bash white people here. Okay, I'm not trying to bash white people. But I don't know any black furries. I don't think I've ever seen any online. But I have seen a number of white people who are furries. And they are kind of extreme. It tells you a lot as to what's going on. And it's a bit worrisome. But to end this on a good note, Charlie, we love you. We miss you. We will continue to pray that TPUSA continues to grow. We will pray for your wife, for her peace and her grief, that she is not left alone, and that she continues to prosper as well. Amen. All right, everybody, take care. I'm going to try to come out with another video real quick. This one's already I'm running up on 20 minutes here, so with this video. So get ready, folks. I'm back at least for a couple of hours. All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.